Welcome back to Never in Reverse podcast, always moving forward. A lot of people look productive on the outside. Full calendars, long days, constant motion.
If I put in more time, I'll do better. And I get it. You get more time and improvement, but is it meaningful? Is it in the right fashion? Does it create stress? Oh gosh, I got to address this now.
I got into this bad habit, what I thought was good. Work my tail off, work. I don't want anyone to beat me. I'll perform them. I'll beat them no matter what. People will see me doing that.
But underneath that, many leaders feel exhausted, scattered, and frustrated because all that activity isn't translating into real progress. Are you really accomplishing anything, and what are you sacrificing? I mean, what is your family sacrificing?
Make a lot of excuses to take care of my family at the expense of my family. It's like the dumbest thing on the planet.
This is a vehicle to live a lifestyle we want to live, but we got to take time for ourselves. We got to take time for our friends, mentally, socially, physically.
Especially for the founders and leaders. Hey everybody, welcome back to Never in Reverse podcast, episode 47, big 47. I'm your host,
47.
Jeremy Axel. Yep, 47, about your age, Doug.
Not quite.
Hi, co-host Doug Cox, going on 47.
44
Yeah,
to be exact, but who's counting?
Buddy, I'm getting those gray hairs coming in hot while you're going bald.
Oh, I know. Well, I'm not graying, but I'm losing it. I'm losing it faster than it's turning gray.
I mean, I'm starting to go from a 2 on the side to a 1 just to start hiding it more.
I'm just going to cut a cul-de-sac right in the top right here because it's already starting to come out.
We got 3 buddies that are going there. Between you, Johanny, and Meller, man, if we can just stitch your guys' heads, we'd have a full head of hair, maybe.
Yeah, but that gray hair is going to be a key indicator of you getting your AARP card sooner than I will.
The good news is just pay attention to me because you're older than me, so you can just watch it. Go ahead.
Oh, gosh.
So let's dive into today's episode. This is going to be, I can relate to this one, but the founder's body, why your health is a company's biggest liability or asset. That's an interesting one for me. And it's basically why, first section is like, why do founders treat their health as a secondary to the business? Man, that's
a broad topic, actually. I mean, mentally, physically, emotionally. I mean,
it comes in a lot of deviations. I think I got into this bad habit. I mean, what I thought was good, right? Like work my tail off, work. I don't want anyone to beat me. I'll perform them. I'll beat them no matter what. People will see me doing that. And then all of a sudden it's like just kept on going and 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 going. And that secondary placement, I'm out now at the stage trying to redefine what that looks like so I don't keep doing it. Once we grew the team and like when you came on, it's like outperforming you. I'm like, well, I can go half as much and I'm good. Like,
stop. But I will tip my hat to you because when I first started, and you even had a LinkedIn post about this, about getting up early, putting in the time, putting in more hours. It was in a lot of it, and what I saw in you is if I put in more time, I'll do better. And I get it. You get more time and improvement, but is it meaningful? Is it in the right fashion? Does it create stress? Because you used to send emails to the team on Saturdays and Sundays, and it would create stress. Like, oh gosh, I got to address this now, where I think you've gotten into a more holistic, Monday through Friday. Because a lot of times, okay, great, you're getting some things off your plate for Monday. I get it. But are you really accomplishing anything? And what are you sacrificing? I mean, what is your family sacrificing when you're just so engaged 24/7, where I've seen you've really reeled things in and made some other, business is important, of course, and in those business hours and maybe some time early, late, whatever, but you've done a better job of, creating the structure for yourself and your family that I'm not seeing you blur those lines as much as you used to 3 years ago.
Oh, buddy, it used to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
That at the expense of relationships, my personal relationship with myself. Right. It's still there. You and I talk about that struggle. That's real. Like, I don't care who you are.
And I'm guilty of it too.
And as a man, like that just sits in our presence. Like every man, well, I'm not going to speak for other men, but on myself, I can tell you that I show up and a lot of times I'm dead last. And then I make excuses around self-service of myself. I'll go hit tears. And I like my wife says, are you going to ever buy a new pair of pants, dude? Like, I mean,
I know.
and
I know.
I'm like, yeah, someday, and those moments are, they're kind of like a frying pan upside the head. Like, listen, pay attention to what other people see in you. It's not always like protect the status quo, and then grow everywhere else. Cause that's what I do. I'm like, let's push and grow everywhere else, but I'm not going to take care of myself along the way. I think that adrenaline rush, that performance metric, like I want to win. I love to win. I want our team to win. I like to be the best. I've always been that way. I think there's some grace that needs to happen for myself around that, and allow you guys to be part of that greatness when I'm taking care of myself and my family, right? Like
Mhm.
it's important,
Mhm.
man, to step back when you're an
Oh, it is, and
entrepreneur
I
and
know
you
you put the customers first, and you always wanna be engaged. You always wanna, if they call you on a Saturday or Sunday, or they send you an email or a text, and is still, as a young organization, you want people to know you're tuned in, you're listening to them, and sometimes that, again, comes with sacrifice, but they're bringing things up so you can address it the next business day. They know nothing's gonna be accomplished after hours,
Yep.
but yet we still dive right in.
Yeah, it's a very tough thing to it took me a
That
lot of
balance.
time to break that habit, man. I would make excuses and protect it. Yeah, but, and I just would remember arguments with my wife and, um,
Mhm.
the excuses that I would put around it. Now I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen on Saturday morning that's not gonna happen on, I do take a little bit of time sometimes when I need to, but I used to be every single day starting at 4:30 in the morning, and I'd go I mean, it was long,
Until
long
you got
days.
called out.
Yeah, yep, and
Yeah.
exactly.
But no,
But
there's
that
those elements I get, there's times like I'm up before my wife beats me out of bed, actually, but before things get going around the household on a Saturday or Sunday, I might carve out a little bit of time to maybe just
Sure,
tackle a few little business things that lingered, that I can go in on Monday with a clean slate, but I'm doing it at the downtime of the family. I'm not doing it right in the height of the day when I should be spending time with them, or doing things with them, or helping my wife with, the laundry or whatever it may be. And
100%.
I've gotten better at that, of just those placeholders and times where it's acceptable, and knowing where it's not.
Mhm. Yeah, and the breakdown, like, just I remember some moments, that, you can tell it mental health, you can call it physical health. I think they're gonna kinda depending on where you're at in life, but that declining, that fatigue, the ability to make no decisions, irrational decisions, stressful answers. I mean, the emotional volatility that I've experienced is not taking care of myself. I did it sometimes at the expense of the team. You weren't here necessarily during those moments, but you probably experienced a few of them. Um, you know, the way that I show up for myself will typically reflect on how I show up for you guys and what I bring to the team. And it's that you got to be careful as a founder, man. You got to be really gentle to
In a leadership
the
role.
doggy dog world, right? Like that's what we've all been taught. Like the next guy's gonna get you if you don't do this. So then you got all this pressure, and you look up, and it's been 5 years, and all you see is the computer screen, or you're not paying attention to the outside world. And I'm guilty of that. So just be aware of that. I think just build the team and find the people that can help. If you have the resources, build the team out, right? Like build it out and let them help you get there, so you can lead better.
Mhm. And
Because
trust.
that chronic stress, the aggravation, and I would mask that with alcohol. So not only would I go all day long drinking coffee, I'd throw in alcohol at the end of the day to kind of set that baseline down. And now you got a real problem, right? Now I'm tired. I'm amped up on caffeine, and I got uppers and downers flowing in
Yeah, now
together.
I'm trying to decompress here, and then you're
Mhm.
waking up with a headache.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've just all of those processes, and then the stress, which I can relate to. I understand what that burden looks like to anyone that's starting a business or thinking about it. It's like, just take a lot, like, if I was to go back, I would take a lot of self-awareness daily, like, where am I at, like, an audit, like, how am I feeling? Am I showing up for my family? Am I feeling more than just the bucket of what I think is important, right? Because entrepreneurs, you get excited, you get in there, and then you hit these, like, peaks and valleys, and man, you just gotta be ready to sit right in the middle. And I tell you guys that let's not get too pumped up or too low. Let's just stay consistent and just be part of the ride. Because I understand that there's rises and there's falls. There's great things and there's problems, and that all that stuff is gonna come no matter what.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
just removing yourself from burnout, right? Like
Because
I was
it
guilty.
can happen. Yeah,
Gu-
it's
Yeah.
my wife gut checked me here about a month ago, and she's like, when are you gonna, reach out to your friends you need some social time with your social group because I've just been we've been busy and we've had a lot of projects, a lot of good things, but again, I've sacrificed, right?
Yep.
I'm not taking time for my social network and my friends and for myself because I'm putting myself last. I'm putting energy in here, but mentally I'm not right,
Yep.
and my wife called me out on that. And it's gotten to the point now, or well, not now, but a while ago, where I always made excuses why I couldn't, meet up with them for lunch on a Friday. A Friday afternoon, let's be honest, by the time after 1 o'clock, it's kind of coast. Everybody's ready for the weekend. Well, I wouldn't take that time to just even go meet them for lunch. Well, now guess what? They're not calling me and inviting me because they know Dove's already got an excuse.
Yeah.
Right? So these guys are getting together, and then pretty soon you're on the outside looking in. You're losing that social network, that friendship. Well, then mentally you just get blinders on. You get stuck in these spaces where it's like, look, we're doing again. This is a vehicle to live a lifestyle we want to live, right?
Yep.
But we got to take time for ourselves. We got to take time for our friends, mentally, socially, physically.
I'll say that I make a lot of excuses to take care of my family, at the expense of my family. It's like the dumbest thing on the planet. Like, I'm taking care of my family at the expense of my family. Like,
Right.
lem I'm taking care of 'em financially for what I think that I've been taught, like, I
That's
need to
that
do. We need for
responsibility. I got to do
Yeah.
that first.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta do that first, man, but then they're emotionally needing you, or they need to play with you, or they wanna go play soccer in the back, right? Like, I've been doing more of that with my kids. I think the other day, you
Me
and I were
too.
chatting, I'm like, "Hey, but I'm gonna get off, dude. I gotta get rolling." Um, because
Yeah, you
Levi's
took the
like,
kids
"Dad,
for a
let's."
walk or
But
yeah.
yeah, I think and Levi's been like, "Wanna play soccer." I said, "Let's do it, man. Let's get after it." Those moments are they're gonna come and go, and, that connection with him is gonna come and go, and that denial or acceptance of that moment with him is important, and he's seeing that, and he's going, "Man, my dad doesn't wanna play soccer with me," or, which
He was
I can
there, but he
probably.
wasn't present.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, I
Mhm.
think that rebuild, though, like, using the health and awareness of being a founder to your strategic advantage to fill the buckets and make sure that you're filling up your marriage, you're filling up your kids if you have
100%.
children, you're filling up your friendships, and, there's things in life too that I've recognized that happen with those buckets. Sometimes they expand and contract, sometimes you lose people because you're outgrowing them, sometimes you're maybe what they're doing isn't aligned with where you're going, right? So and
You
that's
just in
okay
a different
too.
stage in life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and I've seen that
Yep.
happen to me, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, that's," and then I don't feel necessarily guilty or shame for not joining in on that because I find this being more important for my family where I'm going at, and that's first. Like, my family's coming first. They got the second fiddle for a long time.
Mhm.
Um, they did, and I used to make excuses for that as in this role, saying, "Ah, I told you that's what you signed up for, Jess." She's like, "Yeah, but when's enough enough?" Like, I know I get that. You can keep telling me that for another 7 years, but at some point, like, when am I gonna be that, like, leader, right? And I've just really tried to start rewiring myself, and she just said something to me the other day. She's like, "I see what you're doing. I see you stepping up in other
I've
areas."
seen
Like,
it. I've seen
yeah.
it out of you too, and I think, and I don't know mentally, where or what necessarily triggered like I'm going about this in the wrong fashion. I mean, how long ago going back? I mean, what was your coming to Jesus moment, I guess,
A year ago.
a year
Yeah.
ago?
Yeah.
And where were you at mentally? I mean, do you think mentally you were in a good headspace for yourself
I mean,
even?
I would say I could fight through it, right? Like, "I got this, don't worry about it, I'll handle it all." No
Oh,
matter
tough
what
guy.
was coming out on the outside, like, "I got it, I'll just keep carrying the weight, I got it." I've always been that way, Doug, like, I can do it, right? Like, no matter how heavy the load, and it's like, but I would just say that when I got around more masculine men that have a deeper level of what that truly means to be masculine, I think that I started watching them and just seeing, wow, this is a whole different way that I've seen, and what
Mhm.
that truly means to be present and listen and authentic and all those things that, your family and kids need. And then I just started paying attention to myself, and I just caught myself last night, my kid's reaction to something, they would probably assume that, hey, I was gonna show up with maybe a stern voice, right? And I showed up with
Mhm.
play, and he was like, he got caught off guard, and he looked at me, and he started giggling, and I just giggled with him, and we laughed. I said, "But here's the deal, buddy. We're gonna still work through this, you know, moment, but it doesn't need to be in a commanding,
Right.
angry fashion. It doesn't need to become with resentment and shame to this little guy."
Mhm.
So just I think it's just being around people that are more self-aware in those areas, and learning from them, honestly.
Yeah, and just finding
Um,
those moments and those elements when things come up where you used to react in a certain way, and in the back of your mind, you're going, "You know what? The old me's not coming out here, I'm a new
exactly.
progression, a new tactic." My daughter Riley, I swear, she leaves a trail of crap everywhere she walks. It's just like she just throws shit everywhere and
Yeah.
doesn't pick up. And her bedrooms, I'm always like, "Is your room clean? Is your room clean?" Well, then I went in with just some humor. I'm like, "Riley, what the heck is going on in here?" And I kind of laughed and tried to, play it in a different fashion rather than
Yeah.
me just beating on her all the time. Like,
She
beat,
knows.
beat, beat, beat. She
Yeah.
knows. And
Yeah.
she's like, "What is up with you, Dad?" I'm like, "Well, let's go." I said, "Riley, I could clean this room. I could pick all this stuff up in 2 minutes. It shouldn't
Yeah.
take you a half hour." And we laughed and joked about it. And next thing you know, she jumped right out of her seat, got it picked up, got it done. She just accepted it in a different fashion rather than just this beat down demand. "Oh, here's mom and dad griping at me again, you know. But mentally, me is just rewiring, refocusing a different tactic, where myself mentally, emotionally, with the others around me, I'm not coming in with my baggage and dumping it on them. It's like, okay, I'm done with work. Doors locked, lights are off. I'm going into the house here. Fun dad's back. Let's go.
Yeah, and I think that just overall, as we wind this episode down, it's important to just do an internal audit, be honest with yourself, be real, no matter what position you're in. Like, show up to your first of all, show up to your family the right way. Don't fake it. Be authentic. But learn to rewire those triggers or whatever you want to call that, so that you can use that health and the mental wellness and strength or whatever you're doing and going through. You can use that to your advantage. Have that, like, that arrow in your quiver. It's just something else to be. Because if you show up in your home and it's a hard night, the next morning's gonna be just as hard because you got all these things that are going through your head, right? So it's like this never-ending story. So as we close here, I got a couple reflection questions. If your current pace continued for 2 years, what version of you would be leading the company? Um, that's an important one. I think. Do you do your habits increase your decision quality or slowly erode it? What signal in your body is giving you that you need to keep ignoring, or that you keep ignoring? Would your team describe your energy as stable or unpredictable? I used to be very unpredictable. Um, Still trying to get through that. Um, are you building a company that depends on your exhaustion? I've been there, but that was self-induced, man. That had nothing to do but anyone but myself.
Right.
So take those to the table, and really use it as an audit, right? Like, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be like, "Ah, I said this, I showed up this way, so you need to feel bad about it." But just, I think, be more self-aware. I made mistakes of just ignoring it for a very long time, and at the expense of myself and people that are still here, right? Like, and I'm trying to be more self-aware. Like, listen, that was on me. I can own that part of this cycle, and we'll get through
Mhm.
it together, and I need to learn, and just being accountable to myself first before anyone else, and not worrying about how they show up, but worrying about how I show up. So thanks for spending time here. If something from this conversation, um, brought something up within you, pause, just understand what maybe, hey, I'm struggling there. Like, that's real. Like, that's okay. And just sit in there and just, if you're fighting that fight, I fought it. I used to make excuses every single time my wife and I would talk about it. Yeah, but you signed up for it. I just lean on that. And she just said, yeah, but I didn't think I signed up for this long. So just honor the people around you. They see something that you don't because you're in the fire. And
They'll tell you.
find our Never in Reverse on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, X, anything audio. If you want to go to audio, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music. Until next time, guys, I'm your host, Jeremy Axel, co-host, the man, Doug Cox. We appreciate it, guys. Like,
Yeah,
comment,
thank you.
subscribe, and jump in the conversation. We appreciate your time. Take care.
Thanks.